We are at the biggest gathering of leaders to discuss artificial intelligence, and we are bringing you the biggest interview from here, with the AI Summit host and French President Emmanuel Macron himself. It's an interview that I co-hosted with Laurent Delahousse of France TV. We asked President Macron what he thinks of AI, what it means for the world, for democracy, and how it should be regulated. We also talked about France's relationship with India and whether Paris will ban China's DeepSeek. Here are some excerpts from our conversation. Namaste, Mr. President. How are you doing?
I'm fine. And Bharat Kelogon, Komeri Namaste.
Kya baat hai. Thank you very much. I wanted to know what can we expect in terms of announcements on your partnership with India, and as India and France work together, are you creating a new era of non-alignment in the technology space?
Je pense que la conviction qu'on a avec le Premier
that
ministre
with
Modi,
Prime Minister Modi, we firmly believe that India and France are two great powers,
une intimité particulière,
and we have a special
et
relationship.
que nous respectons, nous voulons travailler avec les États-Unis d'Amérique,
We respect and want to work with the US.
la Chine,
We want to work with China, but we want to depend on no one.
et on a noué d'ailleurs
And
ce partenariat bilatéral
we have a
pour cela,
bilateral partnership on that
en
basis,
défense
in defense,
de nos marines à nos avions de
with
combat,
our navies,
dans
our
la technologie.
fighter planes,
D'ailleurs, de grands
technology,
programmes de formation en commun d'ingénieurs.
major
L'Inde
engineering
devait
training
financer
programs.
une puissance de
India
formation extraordinaire.
is a training
L'Inde forme 1
superpower.
million d'ingénieurs par an.
1 million
C'est-à-dire
engineers
autant
a
que
year.
toute l'Europe et les
So
États-Unis d'Amérique.
more than all of Europe and the US combined. So we have that
Trois,
partnership.
un partenariat en matière
3, we have
d'écologie et d'économie.
a partnership
On a lancé
on
ensemble
the
avec
environment
Emmanuel
and the
Macron
economy.
l'Alliance solaire
With
internationale
Mr. Modi, we launched the
pour
International
développer
Solar
dans nos
Alliance
pays,
to
mais
develop
pas
solar
seulement.
energy
Il y
in
a
our
des
countries
programmes
and in the
aussi sur le
world.
nucléaire
We
civil.
also have
Et donc, c'est
civilian
une conviction
nuclear
profonde
programs. So
qu'on
it's a
veut
very
être
deep-seated
indépendant, ça veut pas
conviction
dire
that we want to be independent. That
mais qu'on
doesn't mean
veut
we
des
want to be
technologies qu'on
isolated,
maîtrise
but
avec
we
des
want to
partenaires en qui on a confiance, sans
have
jamais de dépendance excessive.
technologies and
Et
partners that
cette
we can
conviction,
trust
c'est
without
celle qu'on a développée
dependencies.
Mr. President, the thing is that a lot of technology is being thrown into the market, and governments are very keen to be on board. As you said, we want to be part of the race. But who is creating guardrails? Who is making sure that this is not causing harm? Because there is real
Moi, je
harm being
pense que
caused.
ma
I
conviction,
think
c'est que ça doit se faire par une
that
régulation mondiale.
there should be
Parce qu'il faut pas
global
qu'on la-
regulation.
qu'on régule simplement dans un endroit.
I
Cette-
think we
cette
shouldn't
innovation est
regulate
mondiale,
things only
par des
locally because the
partenariats
innovation
aussi
is
entre
global. We
les
need
acteurs privés et
partnerships
publics,
between private
et
and
donc
public
que les bons
stakeholders,
comportements émergent.
and
Et donc,
that
typiquement,
the
ce qu'on
right
veut,
behaviors are
c'est
encouraged.
que les
So
acteurs disent quand c'est une
I think
création par
that
l'intelligence
people should
artificielle.
say when something has
Par
been
exemple,
created by
tout ce qui est
AI.
l'information, qu'il y ait en
That's
effet,
why
qu'on
I
impose
think
progressivement,
that
mais qu'on les engage,
gradually
que les acteurs privés,
we
les
need to
acteurs
make
publics
sure that public and private players
recontextualisent tout ça, en quelque sorte, et disent,
recontextualize all of
ceci, c'est de
this,
l'intelligence
and that they
artificielle,
say very
ceci, ça
clearly,
n'en est
this
pas.
is AI and this is not.
Et donc, c'est-
If
le
you're
droit
able
d'auteur,
to
sa
use it
création
and
sera
say
protégé.
that you did,
Qu'un
that's
journaliste
a
puisse
good
utiliser
thing, and you should
l'intelligence
protect
artificielle
intellectual
peut être
property,
clair
but
pour
they
nous
need
tous.
to be
Mais
clear
sinon,
that they
on rentre
did.
dans un
Are
monde
you,
de
are
demi-vérité.
you putting the onus of that censorship or regulation on the people, just like you did with social media, that they need to do this?
Moi, je pense très
I
profondément qu'il faut
think
que ce soit les
that it
gouvernements
needs to
du monde
be
entier
governments around the
s'engagent
world
de manière volontaire.
who do it
Mais vous savez qui vous
voluntarily.
allez recevoir demain, à partir de demain
But you
ici.
know,
Il y a
tomorrow,
les
who will
acteurs
be
et les
here?
puissances politiques,
There will
mais
be
aussi les
political
acteurs de la
powers,
tech. Et ce
but there'll
sont
also
devenus
be
des
tech
méta-États. Et ils
players,
imposent sur les
and
réseaux
they've
sociaux.
become
Comment on a eu
states in
autant
their
de
own
mal,
right, in a
pourquoi on a
way.
eu autant de mal
Why
depuis
was it
des
so
années à
hard
réguler
for
tout ça
social
sur les
media
réseaux sociaux?
to regulate
Eux, ils vous
social
répondent
media?
quoi?
What would
Ben non,
these people
on
say?
fait
They
rien.
would say,
De
no,
moins en
we
moins,
don't
compte
want
tenu
to
de ce qui se passe
regulate.
aujourd'hui aux États-Unis.
And
Vous
look
avez
what's
raison,
happening
c'est
in the
d'ailleurs notre
US.
défi. Le
You're
défi des
right,
Européens,
and
c'est
that's
quoi?
a challenge. What's
On est
the
tous d'accord pour
challenge
faire
for
ce qu'on
Europe?
dit, mais simplement,
We all
si on
agree with
régule
what you're
avant d'avoir
saying.
innové,
But
on
if you
n'aura pas
regulate
d'innovation.
before you innovate, then
On
there's
dira,
no
on a une super
innovation.
régulation en
You can
Europe,
say we have great
mais on n'a pas un
regulation in
seul
Europe,
acteur.
but we
Et
don't
ça ne passe
have
pas par l'interdiction,
innovation.
Et donc,
parfois.
bah,
But
non, mais ça
sometimes a
reste
ban
dans
is not
ces
the
cas-là, on
answer.
se coupera de l'innovation.
Yes,
C'est tout
if
vilain
we
qui
do
est
that, we won't
Regardez,
innovate,
donc
and that's
ne
the
pas
problem.
interdire,
So
réguler.
don't ban,
Nous, la
but do
première des
regulate.
batailles
Social
As
media today is safer because
Non,
they have
alors oui,
removed, they
je
have
pense
removed
que-
fact checkers. So with all of that,
Alors ça,
you've
vous
done.
parlez
Yeah.
d'autre chose. Je
Now
pense
you're talking about
qu'on a
something a little
réussi
different.
ce qu'on appelle la golden
One,
hour. Maintenant, dans une heure,
we managed what we call the
contribue tous.
golden hour, which
on
means
retire les contenus
that within
terroristes.
1 hour we can
Nous, en
remove
Europe,
terrorist
on s'est
content.
doté d'une régulation.
In
Donc ça,
Europe,
nous, on l'a
we
fait,
have
elle
a
est en œuvre.
regulation, we
Elle est en
have
train
done
d'être
it,
Elle va
we
évoluer.
have
Et
implemented
vous
it, and
verrez
it's
des
going to
plateformes
change,
être
right?
condamnées.
Yes, in Europe, platforms have a responsibility when they disseminate hate, anti-Semitism, or racism. But the US is not doing it. The Chinese are not doing it. India is still thinking about it. So actually, we're at the cutting edge in Europe. And we are trying to push for moderation. But you are right, that platforms said, we don't want to moderate. That's politics. We're all about free speech. Well, they're wrong. Why are they wrong? Because behind social media and in AI too, there are algorithms. And these algorithms help you do incredible things, but they always have biases. And so they need to be transparent so that you can verify them. And they need to be transparent for all. All that to say that there's a huge challenge, a huge regulatory challenge.
I wanted to ask you, are you going to ban Chinese AI in France?
Well, I don't think that it makes sense to ban a technology because of where it comes from. That's not our approach. But for all the technology all around the world, where it doesn't come from Europe, we look into it carefully if our sovereignty is at stake. We've done it in the past for technology. So we don't have this American approach of banning tech because of where it comes from, but we will think about whether we can accept non-European technology for critical sectors. Here's an example, telecoms.
It's a yes or no question. I mean,
Pardon?
It's a yes or no question.
Aujourd'hui, on ne va
Well,
pas les
no,
bannir.
we're not going to ban them today. So, yes or no, 60 seconds, it's going to be very short. Let's go. I'll ask the first question. Is AI already a threat for our democracy?
Oui ou non?
Oui.
Yes.
Which country is France's most important partner in Asia?
Je dirais l'Inde.
India.
Est-ce que vous gérez personnellement
Do you
vos
manage
réseaux
your
sociaux?
own social media accounts?
Je regarde.
I look, I might look, but I don't manage.
What is your favorite way to address people? Tweets, TikToks, or the good old press conference?
Ça dépend desquels.
Well, it depends.
Comme ça.
Est-ce que
This is the best.
le réseau X d'Elon
Is
Musk est un
Elon
outil de
Musk's
propagande ou
X a tool
d'information?
for propaganda or information?
C'est un réseau social, ni l'un ni l'autre.
It's social media. It's neither one nor the other.
Mais surtout pas un lieu d'information.
But it's not for information.
One word to describe your equation with Prime Minister Modi.
Amitié,
Un mot
Friendship.
pour décrire votre
One word
relation
to
avec
define
le
your
président
relationship
Trump?
with Donald Trump?
respect.
Respect.
France, AI dominating the world, or France winning the next World Cup? What do you want?
Les deux.
Les deux.
Both.
Est-ce que vous utilisez encore, Monsieur le Président,
And do you
l'application Strava
still
lors de votre
use
jogging?
the Strava
Je l'ai
app
jamais
for running?
utilisé.
I never
C'était
used
les gens
it.
qui couraient autour de
Oh,
vous.
is the,
Je crois même pas. Je pense
it was
qu'ils
people running
l'utilisaient pour
around
leur
you?
jogging à eux.
I think
quelques-uns,
people
mais
were
vous inquiétez
using
pas,
it for
la
their
sécurité est bien
own
assurée.
running. But don't
Ok,
worry, my
merci, Monsieur
security
le
is
Président.
fine.
Merci, Palki.
Thank
Palki
you,
d'être venu
Mr.
nous
President.
rendre
Thank
visite.
you,
C'est un
Palki, for
plaisir et
being
un
with us.
honneur,
It was such a
d'être
pleasure and an
avec vous,
honor to be
ce
with you
soir.
this
shukriya.
evening.
Fantastic.
Namaste.
The pleasure is all
Merci.
mine.
Namaste.
Merci beaucoup. Merci à vous.
Thank you.
We're calling the show Vantage. We hope you like what we put together for you. Touted as the minimum defense from that video. India's neighbors were the first to send the special edition of Vantage live from the White House throughout this week. Yes, Hindu Mandir in we're on our way to Tel Aviv. Pretty measure, but it's also the perfect way to drive.
I don't think that
Prime Minister of Bhutan, Sherin Tagwe. Welcome to
60% of the world's
office. Prime Minister Modi did the iron.
we were actually
How are you doing? How do you like? It's been 1 year since that meeting. Iron bars separate you from the outside. Out the vote effort. Trump had, it says, and at $4.3 trillion. 4.3 300 billion by 2030. That's what we need to tackle climate change.